The city of angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 398 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. Welcome, everybody. Here we go again. I know, on short rest, just like the club. 2 shows in 1 week. We haven't done that in a while, but we are here to do it. Of course, we've got the full crew for this late night pre-match episode. Araceli in the house, Tony in the house, Bam in the house. Let's get to it right away. Araceli, I'm going to go to you first. How are you doing tonight?
Struggling to stay awake right now because it's past midnight. But other than that, I'm actually doing really well. As you guys know, MLS All-Star is coming up very soon, and I'm getting ready to hit the road next weekend, actually. So it's coming up very fast.
Back to Austin. There you go. Should be a good one. Of course, Denny will be there. Maybe others. We'll see how that plays itself out. Bam is in the mix. Bam, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. I've got a little bit of the Dr. Hahn Australian Cup going on at the moment on my side screen, so I'll be looking at that. It's currently 30 minutes in, and you got Heidelberg United, who play in the top. They play in the top league in my state. They're up 1-0 against Nutter Wadding, who play in the 4th division at the moment in my state. So hopefully a little bit of magic at the cup comes through, and Nutter Wadding can get through. But we'll see what happens over the course of this episode.
Love it. Love it. He'll keep us posted. You know he will. Yeah, dude, cup football's the best. Doesn't matter what level it is. It's how it's supposed to be done. So Tony, like me, is on short rest. He's getting ready and prepped for tomorrow. Busy as ever. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Like I said, a weird game is going to be the best way to say this. Glad we got the 3 points, but still a lot to talk about because this win feels like a tie, if we can say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if we're judging performance, yeah. If we're judging scores, take the 3 and move on with a good goal difference. But yeah, we'll get into it. Of course, Rumorville is what it is. You keep hearing names popping and whatever. Nothing solid yet, so we're not going to stick to reporting too much on that. Of course, there was the Hello Kitty night. That was entertaining. Yes, sir.
Our new owner. That is the bigger news.
Yes, we do have to cover that. That is probably the latest news that we can solidly go on. But Mr. Chiellini is now one of the owners, and he looks like the happiest man in the world in that process. He always does, though, right? The man is amazing. Yeah, he's a part of the ownership group. Hopefully he brings on some of the good juju that he's brought us before, being one of the owners of the club. I think we're just happy to see him, and anytime we do see him back at the house, yeah, it's great. It's great. He's just, again, always brings everybody's spirits up, and he's one of us. I mean, we feel that way, right? To come into the North End and always spend time with the supporters and with the fans. So a good ambassador and now owner at LAFC. So congrats to Chiellini on making that move. So that was pretty much the big news outside of Hello Kitty night, where we all saw Hello Kitty pay us a visit and the crazy crowds as well right before the game started. Madness as usual. I'm guaranteeing this weekend won't be that kind of madness, right? But those who got their Hello Kitties, congratulations on that. I know the majority of fans did not. It was a tough one. I really wish they would, release more of these things, not be so tight on it, but it is what it is. At least it got butts in the seat on a weeknight. And the North End was popping as a result as well. So there's that. Tony, your thoughts on the Hello Kitty night?
Talk about madness, as you said. Madness to get in was crazy. Luckily for me, I do setup work, so it wasn't too bad for myself. Unfortunate for other people who couldn't get that. Again, there's just how they said first 2000s, and people took the day off because, as most people know, Hello Kitty is very well known internationally and very well loved and very collectible. So I understood that, and then the madness that occurred during the whole game, besides the game, was getting your popcorn bucket that is Hello Kitty LAFC marketed, and also I heard that the cup was the longest line ever to get just that. And again, luckily for me, I always get my coffee and I know where it's at. I know how to get it and got it. But from what I've heard, it was long, long lines.
Yeah, I abandoned it. I'm like, hey, we got the actual Hello Kitty. We don't need the cups at this point. Move on, buy some pizza, and do what we got to do. Yeah, it was wild to see it. I think people missed like the first half just to wait in line to get a cup. And they missed pretty much everything by doing that, right? The biggest moment of the game. But yes, those who were in their seats in time, this one was rather interesting. And with that, let's get to the game. It's a little short and sweet tonight, I gotta say. But yeah, let's go for it. Of course, the lineups for this match, the rumors on who was healthy, who was not. Funny thing, in the stadium, they said Mihailovic was injured, and then the dude's in the starting lineup. I thought that was fascinating. But yeah, that did happen. So who was out there? Well, for them, Hansen was in goal. Maxo, Awazim were their center backs. Cannon and Travis were your outside backs. Atencio was your defensive midfielder, as they played like a diamond, basically a 4-2. Yeah, 1-2-1-2. Bassett, Laras outside, Mihailovic playmaker role, Yapi Navarro up top. So that's what they went with. And ours, pretty typical. We went with a 4-3-3. Lloris in goal, Long and Segura holding it down in the center D. We had Palencia and Hollingshead on the outsides. Igor Jesus, Tillman, Delgado, your classic, right, was there. This case, you had Ordaz as your center forward, Dillerson as your right winger, Wonga as the left wing. Of course, things shifted as needed. But crazy thing happened at BMO. Colorado lost it early. They threw this one away real early. I think everyone was rather shocked. Even our side was like, what, did that just happen? But yeah, third minute, technically 6th minute by the time it was official. What happened, Tony?
Red card by Jackson Travis. Goes up to defend or try to get a header against Palencia, but instead of getting the ball, he gets the head of Palencia with his elbow, like straight, just we're spinning elbows at this moment, and gets sent off, and we're down to 10. They're down to 10 men early in the half, and it's kind of crazy to think how much I understand the shock and the defensive presence that they decided to change for that, but the quality of Colorado to the quality of us, it shouldn't have taken till, as we will just continue until the first half, until the 42nd minute, where Denis finally broke through, got the penalty, and put it away. And we go up into the half 1-0, which I think is 0-0 to me, because we should be up more. And it's like, we were still trying to find our footing. We're still trying to find the momentum, a tempo, but we couldn't even get that.
I mean, warranted or not, we needed help to get a lead in the first half. We did. Penalty is a penalty. I mean, the guy stuck his leg out. It is what it is. But we didn't create a whole lot, right? It was pretty rough. You get a man advantage. It never really felt like a man advantage in that first half. They were still coming back at us. They were still countering. They were still active. And our guys are just not there again. Yes, we got a lead to the half. That, at the end of the day, is the object of the game, right? You take the lead, you move on, take care of business as it goes. But taking initiative, not what we were expecting, that's for sure. In terms of that elbow, I mean, he beelined it right into Palencia, so that's what cost him mostly. I think if he came in at a different angle and still got the arm up, he probably wouldn't have got a red card. But his angle of attack into Palencia, Yeah, he did himself dirty pretty much by the approach, because it did look like he was targeting him, which was pretty wild. Who knows if there was some prior stuff going there, but he tagged him. There's no doubt about that. They tried to go to VAR and complain about it, and they didn't even bother to review. They're like, "Yeah, we're done. We're done with this." Bam, you saw it. What was your thought on that moment?
Straight away, just because the way he came out and he was flailing his arm around, I knew it was going to be straight red. It was plain and simple. You can't jump like that, let your arm flail around and hit someone in the face. Plain and simple. It's dangerous, it's reckless, and it should never happen.
No, it's ridiculous, and you got to say that's got to be the longest time ever for Travis. Goes out right out early, and you're stuck in that locker room for that whole period, just waiting for everybody to give you that look.
Oh yeah, you look at it too. If that was me, I'd already be showered, dressed, and probably heading out of the stadium by halftime.
Go hide in the press box. Do somewhere where somebody's not dressed for the day. Go hang out with those guys, because yeah, that locker room must have been really tense at half. So there goes that. Second half kicks off. Doesn't take us long though. Thank goodness, right? We finally take care of some business here, right, Tony?
Yeah. In the 48th minute, Ordaz puts it away. He's just there, right there at the right spot, right time. And, it could have gone in, but it, ricochets off. Ordaz is right there to clean it up, put it in, 2-0. And not even, 10 minutes later, even if that, Del Rosen finally gets himself onto the scoreboard. You know what I mean? His best. Exactly. And just, we are up 3-0. And this is where, again, this felt like a tie to me. And I don't know how everyone else feels in the LAFC world or what people are watching it. It's just, we had so many opportunities and we couldn't finish it. We had the right things. We had Martinez was that marvelous stutter step run to get aggressive with the ball, had the keeper one-on-one and just couldn't finish it. Hits the post, come on to his back. There's a lot of more opportunities. And it took us to like I said in the first half until the end of the first half to get the lead up. Yes, the transmission was changing, but the only good note that I could take away from everything was there was finally some flow to the midfield with the opening and everything, which was nice because I think that's what we needed moving on to our next couple games. But if we have that flow earlier on, do we score more? Do we have more pressure? Because it felt like, we were just we were playing for a tie, it felt like.
Yeah, definitely going through the motions. Once we had the lead and the lead seemed safe, it did very much feel like, yeah, okay, let's just play this one out. Everybody walk off the field healthy. That seemed to be the big attempt. In terms of Martinez's miss, very unfortunate. I thought he had it for sure. And he even hit the inside of the post and popped out. The kid's a bit snake bit. He needed that one too. You could tell. Because the way the other guys were reacting towards him after that, yeah, he needed that. He needs a confidence boost. That's for sure. And that didn't help in the process. It affected him. That's for certain. Outside of that, yeah, it's just wasted opportunities. They should have been up. They could have been up 6 at some of the chances we were getting in the second half. Colorado kind of ran out of gas. I think that would be the best way to say it. You can only go so far with 10 men. And this is how it turns out. We'll take it. The good thing is there were enough substitutions at the right times, to be honest, that not too many will be winded for the second match, right? They'll be fine. They'll be okay. And that might be the one benefit of how things went down is yeah, we should have a healthy lineup. That's where we should be at, and take it from there. Of course, Bam, your thoughts on this match and the result?
It's always great getting 3 points. We obviously should have done a lot better, especially with being up a man so early on. Just going through some of the stats, the first half, we had 11 shots with only 2 on target. Second half, 10 shots with 3 on target. Not much better. But I think that momentum, getting us 3 points, is going to do us a lot of favor going into this weekend's game.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have a grinder match, right? It wasn't something where you're getting beat up all game, because it wasn't like that in this match. So they're not taking any bruises into this thing. That's for sure. Or frustrations, to be honest. Maybe Martinez is going to be a little off because of what happened to him in the game, but he was still there, right? He's still there to create those opportunities, was still making the right runs. Build on it. Do what you got to do. It's not going to be an easy game against FC Dallas. That is a desperate team that we are playing, and we'll cover that in a few minutes. But yeah, ultimately, we build in the standings. We get 3 goals added to our goal difference with 2 games in hand. They can march up the standings as we keep going here. That is what you have to build on. Is it, yes, maybe get some momentum, beat the teams you have to beat. Araceli, your thoughts, of course, on the results. How do you think the team's going to take it from here?
Well, I would hope that they would take this win going into tomorrow with Dallas and keep that momentum going, even though Hello Kitty won't be there again, which, I mean, we could joke around that she was the good luck charm for that night. But I mean, overall, whether if it's a win or a loss, there's always going to be criticisms. I do agree that after the third goal, it felt like they took their foot off the gas and just kind of coasted for a bit. So hopefully that's not the case with Dallas, because we all know how strong Dallas is, especially me, considering more than half of their first team used to play in Next Pro last season. So I could tell you from firsthand experience, they need to be all there mentally speaking. But otherwise, 3 points is 3 points. I'm glad to see they got the win and that they're able to move up the standings a little bit more.
Yeah, you're not looking at danger zone. It's not too far away, but at the same time, you're chasing Portland. You're close enough to get there. Yeah, add some heat with 2 games in hand. That's critical. That's where we're at right now. We got to make up for lost time because of the other tournament, and this is how you start that march. Speaking of teams and needing to get momentum, of course, LAFC 2. Definitely in the mix. Game coming up super quick. So I'm going to throw it to Araceli for LAFC 2 update. What's going on?
Well, first off, before I get into LAFC 2, something that I did forget to mention on Monday is that last week, Tyson FC was selected to participate in the MLS Next All-Star Game in Austin. The match will be on Monday, July 21st at 5:30 p.m. He was on LAFC 2's roster for 2 matches at the beginning of this season, but he did not appear in either one. Either way, seeing an academy kid being selected for that match, it's still good news for the academy, at least. Now, going on to LAFC 2, kind of a little reminder, they will be home this Sunday as they host Portland. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff, and as always, if you're unable to make the game, it will be streamed on MLSNextPro.com. The boys are currently in 13th place with 18 points, with Portland just above them by 1 point. So this is, I'm going to say, a crucial match in very loose terms, considering we're already past that halfway point of the season. But hopefully a miracle happens and they get a wild card spot. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not looking great. That's for sure. Trends aren't looking the right way. But hey, if they can get a result against Portland, let's hopefully build on this and go from there. But
if it makes you feel better, SKC2 is in dead last and running for the wooden spoon.
Oh boy, that makes this MLS Next. Maybe they should do the wooden spork. That would be even better. Yeah, no, that's rough. That's rough. But again, I expected more from these guys. I got to be honest. After last season's performance and where they were at, you got to build on it, and it seems like they're going the other direction. So at least there's a few players that are featuring, that are looking the part, that could make their way up. You've seen a few of them. Who do you feel the most hope for this season? Who's really stood out?
The one who stood out to me is De Carlo, because he's really stepped up along with Wibowo, but with Wibowo's already on a first team contract, I believe, whereas De Carlo isn't. I might need to double check on that. But in terms of that, I know LAFC 2, their roster was really purged this season with trades and being called up to the first team. So it's not surprising, but of course, you want to see better results out of them.
Definitely. Definitely. And again, at the end of the day, yes, the standings are great. The winning is great. It's who can we shuttle up and who's showing up to get there. It's for development purposes in the first place. So if we are getting a few out of this, then good. But yeah, you still want to see him in good form. That's essential. Thank you, Araceli, for the LAFC2 update. I know that it's late for you. So definitely this would be a good time for your escape. I know a lot coming up on the schedule for you as well, but we're all beyond thankful for that.
Oh, definitely. It's always great to talk with you guys, even if it's well past my bedtime at this point.
No doubt about that. So, yeah, we'll definitely let you escape before we get into as we get into the community news and comments. But thank you again, Araceli. Have a good night. Get your rest. We will see you early next week.
Hey, sounds good. Good night, y'all.
All right. So that being said, I did want to check in. There are some comments from the faithful. Let's see who we've got on tonight. And then, yeah, we'll get a bit of community news before we preview the next match. We've got Dave in the mix. Says, Hola familia. We've got Falcon. Yep. What's good, fam? Burke. Hey, there's Burke. Another hardworking member of the North End in the Black Army. Says, I don't know what Wednesday night game was busier, Hello Kitty or Inter Miami and CCL. I forgot they were even playing in that because, Hello Kitty. Dave says, harsh red, but can't argue. Yeah, arms up, right? Denny Boanga says, I'll score a hat trick tomorrow. Do you guys believe in me? Do you believe in yourself, Denny? That's what we want to know. I just want to see you pass the ball more. We know you're going to score goals. So there's that. And Denny's like, I guess not. That's funny. All right. Jonah B says Friday night with the boys. Yeah, a rare Friday night episode for the Heart of LAFC. For very obvious reasons, we had a late night. Prepping for the next day is a little bit hard. This one works out pretty good. And Bam can't complain because, hey, Bam, you going to work tomorrow?
Nope, but I did work today. It is currently 3:55 p.m. Saturday.
There it is. So his day is done. His weekend is begun. Perfect timing for Bam. And for Tony and I, we're like, yeah, we got a game tomorrow. So there goes that.
Hey, tomorrow's game's a nice little 12:30 p.m. kickoff, lunchtime kickoff.
Perfect. See, that's good. That's a good time for you and a good time for us. I love 7:30 games in the summer because it cools off a bit. It's proper time to play and also gives me a chance to take the kids to the California Science Center where there's an exhibit about playing sports and there's a cool feature of Carlos Vela inside the California Science Center. Yep, that's right. They're actually teaching kids how to play soccer inside the Science Center, baseball. There's a Dodger exhibit as well. But yeah, Vela is the feature for the soccer part. So if you haven't seen it yet, maybe you want to check it out. I'll leave it at that. All right. Thank you guys for the comments. Keep them going as we get into the preview of Dallas because we need to hear from you guys. You know how it goes. All right. So let's move on to community news. Tony, what have you got for the community? I know it's short rest here, but what do we got?
Just the usual. Tailgate's coming up right now. It's going to be a hot one. I think the more community news is more of a weather warning. Going to be a hot one, you guys. Like, I didn't realize how hot it was until I think last game where I have now a tan on my watch because of my watch. And, starting to get my tan on going. So drink a lot of water, drink a lot of liquids, make sure you're hydrated, and don't overdrink because it will get you pretty intoxicated quickly if you don't watch what you do it.
Yeah, that can backfire rather quickly. I just realized that at the time of recording, the tailgate starts in 8 hours. What? Yeah.
Woohoo!
Y'all crazy. But hey, have fun with that. All right. Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. I honestly haven't really thought of a good one today. I don't know if the boys have one they want to throw into the mix here. I'm sure Tony's got. He's already laughing. So, Tony, what do you got, man?
I'll go with Ben first because he's smiling.
Uh-oh.
I'm tossing up. All right. Tony, 1 or 2?
Oh, random pick. Blind box. Here we go.
2?
2? Alrighty. So I'm going with a band from Texas, not from Dallas, though. I'm going for a band from San Antonio in Texas.
Ooh.
I'm going with a band called the Union Underground and their song Across the Nation. For those that might sound familiar, it was the 2002 Raw theme song from WWE.
What year?
02.
Yeah, I remember it. I was like, hold on. I was like, I know most of my early 2000s. That's when as a kid. Well, once I got into WWE, that's when I started. It was around there because I was a WCW kid. But yeah,
There it is. There it is. One more for the playlist, people. One more for the playlist. Love
yes.
it. Love it. There we go. Start with AC/DC and then end with Union Underground. Hey, that's how the hodgepodge works here. So there we go. All right. Good stuff, boys. All right. That leads us into another Texas tilt. That's right. LAC versus FC Dallas. Things have not gone very well for FC Dallas. They've got point wise, it ain't so bad, but recently bad. They've got a 5, 6, and 9 record, 21 points on the Schneid. Yes, we're of course at 8, 5, and 5, 29 points. Yep, pulling away from these guys. Why? Because they've lost their last 5 games. It's rough for these dudes. I gotta say, they lost to Minnesota last time, 4th of July match. Then it was San Diego, 3-2. Earthquakes, 4-2. Mind you, all of those were home games. And then they lost, or they actually beat Kansas City 4-2 away. That's bizarro. But yeah, so three straight losses at home. I don't know, maybe change the venue would help them. But let's be honest, it doesn't play against us in our house. So that's where they're at. And they are giving up a lot of goals. So really interesting vibe, that's for sure. Yes, some of the teams were quality, but yeah, they definitely need a turnaround quick, or this season's going to go off the rails. Definitely. Who should we worry about, or what are things looking like? Well, there are, of course, a few familiar faces that are in these lineups. I think the last game they played a 4-2-1-2, half familiar from this last match, at least for 6 minutes. In this case, Paez was in goal. Ibiaga and Abubakar were the center backs. We know those guys. Farfan was the left back. We know him too. Moore was the right back. Midfield was Da Silva Ferreira, Delgado, Leggett. Yeah, we know that guy too. And Acosta. And then Farrington and Musa were their strikers. Yep. Ramiro, Sarver, Pedrinho, and Augusto found their way into the match as well. Of course, the match before that, they actually went with a 4-3-3 that time. In this case, Abubakar and Augusto were their center backs, with Moore and Farfan on the outs. Midfield was Norris, Delgado, and Leggett. Up top, Musa, Kemungo, and Acosta. So you see a little bit of movement with this side. They do shuffle things as needed. But again, there's some familiar faces. It's just defensively, they've been, woeful, I would say. I think that's the biggest issue with them. In terms of production, it's a mixed bag too. They've got about 11 players with goals on the list this year. Top scorer so far is Musa with only 7, then Acosta with 5, and then it drops off real quick. Now, assist men, it's Musa again, 4 assists, Pedrinho with 3, Moore with 2, and then it drops off. I think the big name, of course, Luciano Acosta is not, 5 goals and 1 assist this year. That's not his expectations, that's for sure. And that might be why they're running into issues they're having is the guys they're expecting to really perform haven't this year. Bam, your thoughts on Dallas going into this match and seeing who they have out there?
Dallas are always a tough match to go up against. They always give us a bit of problems to begin with, and then sometimes that they just don't rock up at all. Like looking at the head-to-head between us, it's 6 wins for us, 2 draws, and 4 wins for them. So a lot of the games are 3-1, 2-0, 2-1. So always a high-scoring game, at least 2 goals scored every time. Yep. They are missing, obviously, Pomicao, Norris, and Julio. For us, we'll be missing Chanot, going by the MLS listings that they've already done for today. So having Ibiaga in the back line and Farfan, we always got to be careful of those ones. They are always coming in with tough tackles, and we know how they play.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not a shock, right? As to what they're going to bring to the mix, and Abubakar as well. I mean, he has a long history, I guess, with other clubs, right? It was Colorado before this one, of getting into it with us as well. So, yeah, again, it will be tough. I guess the last 8 times we played, no draws, right? Before there were draws, but it's a long streak of nobody getting a draw in this game, and just everybody gets their wins as needed. But it's been totally one-sided for us as of late. Let's hope it continues. That's for sure. Tony, are you concerned about this match? And is it more about them or more about us for this thing?
I think honestly, like, as at this point, until we get our rhythm and our identity and everything, it's more about us. Like, at this point, we have to focus on what we're doing and how to execute everything. And yes, of course, we're still going to worry about what they're doing and put taxes involved to stop them. But I think the more like center point of this conversation, I would say, is on us. Because can we control the midfield? Can we connect passes? Can we create? Because last game, you saw what happened when we were able to pass. We were able to create. The ball was moving with flow. It was easier to get shots, to get openings, more opportunities to score. And yes, we did. Again, I know I said it was a tie and it felt like it because of the 10 men. But if you gave me 11 men and you gave me that same performance, then I'm like, okay, one game, we got it. Can we duplicate that same momentum into the next game, and then on to the next game, and then on to the next game, until that is a for sure thing? Then I'll say let's worry about what we can do moving forward with the teams that we're facing.
Yeah. Again, it's our performance. It's our performance. And who's going to feature is a big story, because if you look at production, yeah, I mean, it's for the taking, to be honest. Denny Bouanga, for as much as we have this love and concern relationship, I think is the best way to say it. He's our top assist man. Can you believe it? He's got 5 assists this year. And of course, the 9 goals. I'm talking league play, of course. He's the story, right? If he becomes producer as well, and passes the ball a bit more and looks for that, it will help us in the long run, right? Or if he tries to go one-man army, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Should be interesting. As for the rest of the lineup, it should be, I don't think, much different. Of course, Lloris is now healthy, so he's back in net. That's what we're expecting. Back line, same story with Chanot being out. You're kind of locked in, right? It's gonna be Long and Segura. Why wouldn't it be? But the outside back situation, there is that shuffle that we've talked about before. You've got I'll go to you, Bam. I mean, who are you looking at to be outside backs for this thing?
Outside backs, I'm gonna say Hollingshead will be stepping in.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Smolakov will be stepping in. Palencia played the full 90 last game. It is a short turnaround, so I see Hollingshead was subbed off in the 75th minute. He'll come in as a right back and Smolakov as a left back. That way, give Palencia a little bit of a break.
I think he needs it, to be honest. Getting beat up pretty good. We just saw it in the last game because he's always in the mix. And I know we're talking about that yellow card situation as well. Accumulation is what it is. But yeah, and of course, Hollingshead's more than familiar playing that role. He played that for Dallas for years. So, yeah, old friends, you could say, except they shuffle their roster so much, there's hardly any for him. Midfield situation, let's be real. Is it going to be any different than what we saw before? I go to you, Tony. You think there's any big changes in the midfield?
I don't think there's to be any big changes in the midfield because, again, most of them are pretty young, and I feel like we need to get this core situated. I'm gonna just say this, and I know we're not talking about the defense, but we have to come back to this. I'm gonna disagree with Bam with not the Hollingshead situation, but with Palencia sitting. Play him. Get the yellow card. Get the suspension. Because need him for the next game after that.
Oh,
Look it up.
talking Carson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Need to keep his nose clean for Carson, or at least get him to sit out.
Yeah,
It's only a
exactly.
win, though, right?
Mhm.
I mean, right, for the accumulation. So
Yeah.
There's that. There's that too.
Yeah. So, but back to the midfield, I think you tried to, like, I know it's short term and like I know we need to rest the boys, but I think we need enough, run with them in the middle during an actual game situation, in-game situation, while playing with each other to get this momentum going so they're more comfortable with each other, especially with, again, we're a new team because of all everything that's left from Giroud, from Morlan and everything, and this is a good opportunity for everything to flow really well and get those reps in.
Yeah, and you're looking at the production from these guys. Our second leading assist man is Delgado this year, right? He's got the 4 in league play. When he plays, we are better. At the end of the day, he's one of those guys. He's been the consistent one for us in the midfield. Tillman has his moments. We need more, of course. We know this. And Jesus, in the game that's going to be as physical as this one, yeah, the give and take is there. He'd be good for this one, so I can't see it changing. They got to get it right. Up top, I think we might see a little shuffle. I know Bouanga's the given. He's coming in. If he's healthy, he's playing. I think DeRosen's a given at this point, right? He got his goal. He earned it. You're going to get as much out of him as possible because, again, remember, his contract is up really soon here. He's a short-term deal, and they got to make a hard decision. So if you got him now, you're going to use the guy. You're going to put miles on him. Center forward situation, of course. Ordaz was the last one. Could this be a switch up for maybe a Bobase this time? I'll go back to you again, Tony. Who's your center forward for this match? Or are you switching up anybody else on the wing?
I think I still go with what we came out with, the lineup that we had. It worked really well. You know what I mean? With Ordaz and Dolorosa and with Bouanga, it seemed like it freed up everything. So I would go with that.
There we are. Bam, your thoughts on the front line?
I'm going to take a page out of Tony's book. Bouanga, obviously, Ordaz, start Martinez, get him the yellow card, misses next game.
The only problem is when he gets cards, it's a huge risk of a red as well. He goes heavy, man.
Yeah, that's why I like get in the card, set him off at halftime, done. Make it an official move there. All right. Yeah. So there you go. There's your options. I'm thinking the Ordaz Dilrosen line with Bouanga is going to make sense for this. Ibobase, yeah. He needs minutes. He really needs minutes, guys. He'd probably tear things up against this defense as well. Don't be surprised if it's him instead of Ordaz for this match. They do need to cycle guys too. So that might be something we see. Don't be shocked. So there's our lineup, guys. Of course, we see a couple comments from you guys. Let's see where you guys are at on this. Let's go. Let's see. We've got... Oh, Gomez Jr. says, just so Miami's getting. Messi effect is legit. Just an idea. Maybe go after enemies of Messi. Sell that idea. Yeah, talk about not having an actual salary cap, man. Pretty wild stuff, but it is what it is. Dave says, up top, do you want to see for LAFC? So there we had our conversation about that. Mixed bag. And of course, Dave says, I believe in you, Bouanga. We want to believe. That's how it works. And then, of course, Dave is all about De La Rosa. And of course, he is an Amsterdamer. That is correct. Yeah, again, he was fine last match. We need him to build more onto it. I think we're running out of time for him, but hey, a couple goals kind of makes it a hard decision for people. So let's see what he does this week. He definitely has the opportunity looking at the back line that he'll deal with. I mean, he'll be matched up with Farfan on that side. Yeah, and Abu Bakar, that's who tends to be there. You could torch those dudes. No question. You can have fun with that one. So, yeah. Oh, Jonah, you got a good question. So I'll throw this in the mix too.
He says, any word on Thomas Muller and is Adidas covering the funds for us? That's been the cliffhanger. It hasn't changed. It is still the cliffhanger. Word on the street is quiet. Take that for what it is. Usually when things go quiet on a conversation or a deal, that means something at LAFC. Denial is something else. No, this is just completely quiet. And these guys going to test when things go quiet. That suggests something. Am I right on this, Bam? Could we see? I don't think it's over. That's for sure.
No, it's not over. But at the same time, though, as I said last episode, bringing these older players and all that, we have been burnt before, especially good players that come and don't do what we hope they're to do. So I'm tired of being burnt. That's what I can say.
Jaded. He's jaded, people. I can't blame him. We had 2 solids, and then I think we've gone 8 in a row where it's like, okay, not what we were expecting. Tony, you can jump in on this too. I know you have your concerns.
Again, just for the right price. If again Adidas is covering the price, then that's good. I don't want it to be a DP spot because then it hurts us in the long run of bringing in someone in that we might want. Because again, for Muller, it's going to be a short term, and I'd rather use the DP for a long term deal than anything. Because we've already done these, as like Bam's been said, we've been burnt all these short term deals on DPs, who are big names, put butts in the seats, but sometimes don't produce, sometimes doesn't do anything, and I'd rather use those for long term players who we need to win trophies.
I get it. I'm going to be selfish and say pull the trigger, but that's me. Yeah, forget it. Everybody got their Hello Kitties. I want my Thomas Muller. I mean, we pretty much look like we're signing a DP by the name of Hello Kitty in the last match. But yeah, again, you guys got your collectibles. I got my autographs I'm looking for, but hey, whatevs. Now, if he comes, it's great. If he doesn't, I understand. I do know that what's thrown out there that if it ain't us, he's pretty much going to hang it up. So that's the other added fun thing. I think Bayern wants him here. Again, all parties want him here, and he knows that. That affects the price. That's how it works. It's business. So we'll see what happens. Again, hoping for the best, but it is a little bit of silly season. That's for sure. And of course, the Sun conversation as well. I'm still getting conversations from people on that, so that's a little interesting. And there was I don't know, I wouldn't call it a rumor, but there were some sightings at the stadium that suggest that other people are interested in that too. So we'll see how things turn out, guys. Window's still open. All right. Thank you guys for the comments. Y'all rock. You know how this goes. What does that mean after we preview Dallas? Getting ready to close the night. That's right. 43 minutes into the mix on another lovely episode of the Heart of LAFC podcast. You know what that means? Our final comment. In this case, I'm going to you, Tony, first. So let it rip, sir.
Final comment. Of course, the game is just, be safe out there, drink responsibly, make sure you look out for everybody out there. It's going to be a hot one, water, drink, everything like that. Go full 90 when you're out there. It just, we're trying to be not just the best in the MLS, but one of the best in the world. So let's try to continue that. I know with all the recent downs that we've had, it's kind of hard to, put our energy into that if we're not getting the results that we want and we should be getting. But at the end of the day, we still have a reputation to keep for ourselves and, around the world. And also that just, again, have conversations with people. You know what I mean? Think about the humanity of just everyone and just don't just shut out just because of one silly, thing that's just happened. Have the conversation. If that conversation doesn't go the way you want it to go and both parties can't agree, then you officially can decide that. But just don't just close the door just because of one stupid thing and just doesn't understand the person. Because again, we're all humans, we're all humanities. And if the conversation doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, at least you had the conversation and you didn't shut somebody out, because again, we're all on this earth together. We should live as best we can as a harmony, and the conversations are the best ways to have that.
Yeah, open dialogue. It does a lot in this world. That's for sure. Thank you, Tony. Bam, final comments.
Final comments. Obviously, as Joe was saying earlier, less than 8 hours until tailgate start and all that kind of stuff. So just be good. Don't get too inebriated before the game. Make sure you can get into the game. Make sure you remember the game, and make sure you get home safely. As I've always said, mental health is major. It's major for me. I know it's major for the boys as well. Conversations can save and change a life. It's okay to not be okay. There are resources out there if you want to go talk to someone. The best ones I can give you is for Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health. They actually have a 24/7 helpline, which is 800-854-7771 or 988. Just call them, speak to them. The 988 number, you can text that number. You know, you can just maybe texting before making phone calls and all that kind of stuff. And one thing I did find out, I just saw then, the month of July in LA is National Minority Mental Health Month. So with what's going on at the moment, there's a lot of mental health needs for that. So guys, there are avenues for you. Your life is important. You are important.
Exactly. Look out for each other, guys. And got to realize that we go to these games many ways as an escape from the madness, the evil that we see. Difficulties at work, right? Football has a way. Community has a way of getting through harder times, right? So look out for each other. Push each other a bit, right? Have a good time with it as best you can in the stadiums. But again, head on a swivel. Let's look out for each other, especially in a long tailgate like this week. Got to make sure everybody gets home safe, essentially. That is what we're looking for at the end of the day. So on that note, we'll give our final word of the day like we always do. Tony, final word.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam, final word.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.